Hi English 101I students, this is just a quick video explanation of assignment 4.6 as I promised you in this week's announcement. So I'll just go ahead and walk you through how to do it. So if you go into My Classroom, or even before we go into My Classroom, you'll probably notice here on the left side of your screen that you now are assigned to a group. It might have appeared there before, but no, probably it didn't until today. You should see something over here that shows you a group that you belong to. It's probably going to be labeled as My Groups. It looks a little bit different for you than it does for me. Once you click on My Group, it should take you to your group. The other way that you may be able to access it is if you go into My Classroom, into the modules area, and then into module 4. If you go all the way down to 4.6 narrative essay peer review and you click on this, you should see your group that displays here. So if it doesn't for some reason display here, it should display on that left side under groups. You should see My Groups, and you'll notice there that you are linked up with one other student in the class, or in the case of one group, 2 other students in the class. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on Narrative Essay Peer Review 5. You should only see one group here, the one that corresponds to you and your partner, but I've got all of them here displayed because it's for the whole class. But I'm going to click on Group 5 because this is the example. Okay, so you'll see when you get into your group page that there are a couple of features enabled here. The one that I want you to click on is Group Wiki, and you might be wondering what in the world is a wiki if you've never worked with one before. All it is just kind of a collaborative space for people to share ideas and documents, and you may have used one before, but Blackboard has one built into it. So you just click on Group Wiki. And here I've given you more specific instructions about how to complete the peer review assignment. So as it tells you here, you'll upload a copy of your narrative essay draft. It's the exact same one that you already turned into the Turnitin link a couple of days ago, or perhaps yesterday. So you'll take that same draft, you don't have to do anything new to it, exactly what you already turned into me, and you're going to upload it here to this wiki page. And to do that, all you have to do is click on Edit Wiki Content. I can go ahead and click on it just to show you what it looks like. And it's going to display the same information that you saw before, just that now I can edit it. I can add other things to it. I can click on the paperclip and I can add a document to this page. Okay, I'm going to click Submit just to go back to the current view. So I'm going to ask you to submit or upload your narrative essay draft here no later than tomorrow, Wednesday, September 23rd by 11:59. The reason I want you to do it pretty quickly is because your partner needs time to read your essay and give good comments to it. I'm sure that everybody has assignments from other classes and sports practices and things like that, so everyone's got a schedule to keep, and so we want to give everybody at least a few days to review essays. Okay, so you'll upload it, and then once you've got access to your partner's essay, I have included a link here to the peer review feedback form I want you to use to review your partner's essay. So I'll go ahead and download this here just so you can get a look at what it's all about. Okay, so once we get into this form, you will see that it's just kind of a nice organized way for you to give feedback to your partner's writing. So as it tells us here at the top, perhaps the most helpful tool in developing logical, readable drafts is a peer review session. And you should have learned this from assignment 4.5 already about why we do peer review. So it's effective for both the writer and the reviewer. And I've heard lots of students tell me that over the years, that they didn't expect to get the benefit of being a reviewer in the sense that they got ideas for their own writing. They thought about new ways to approach their own writing. So it kind of goes both ways. You're helping the writer, but you're also learning for yourself. Okay, so depending on the writing assignment, adult readers will review class content as well as strengthen vital writing and close reading skills. Writers will recognize that good writing communicates effectively with diverse readers. Okay, I think it's very important to point this out. The least helpful comment to receive from a peer reviewer is, "It looks good to me." You can, of course, tell them that. It's fine to say that it looks good to you and they did a good job. But if that's the only thing you're telling them, they won't learn anything that they can, or they won't be able to take anything from that comment and use it to improve their writing. So you really want to be as specific and focused as possible. The good thing about doing this online is that you don't have to look your partner in the face. Okay, you don't have to feel guilty about telling them something they can improve. Of course, we should do this in a good, constructive way. We should tell them, hey, I think you can improve the second paragraph by adding some more details about your father, or I think you could rearrange paragraphs 3 and 4 and the story would make more logical sense. Those are the kinds of comments you can give that help to improve, but they're still kind, they're still helpful. But just saying it looks great won't take us very far in this process. Your job as a reader and a reviewer here is to first attend to higher order concerns. So look for their thesis statement. Who are they writing the essay for? How have they organized their ideas? Is there enough detail that you understand what's going on in the story? Does the order of events make sense to you? Then you can move on to lower order concerns, things like sentence structure, punctuation, word choice, spelling. I wouldn't spend too much time on those items. You're probably going to spend much more time, or you should spend much more time on, the higher order concerns. Let me shrink that back down again. My computer likes to do crazy things like that sometimes. Okay. So, as we mentioned, higher order concerns. Then if you feel like you want to comment on the lower order concerns, you can certainly do that. If you notice there's a pattern of comma splices, like we learned about a couple weeks ago, or you notice a lot of spelling errors, you could point a few of them out just to be helpful. Okay, so you'll put your name here as the reviewer, the other person's name here as the writer, just so we're clear on who's giving and who's receiving comments. And then the comments you make will be organized according to this chart. So first is to congratulate. What did the writer do well in this assignment? List one or more aspects. Make sure that they're specific. You don't just want to say, hey, the writer did a really good job telling this story. That doesn't tell them very much. You might want to say something like, I really love how you grabbed my attention as a reader in the first paragraph. You included this detail about the way the weather looked that day or the color of the sky, and it really made me, think about that place, or it made me imagine myself in that place, or I could identify with your example in paragraph 2 because I also experienced that when I played tennis, or something like that. So you really want to point out specific areas where the writer really has done well with their essay. We want to start out with the positive things. A is for asking clarifying questions. So what parts of the essay were a bit confusing? Why? And give specific suggestions. All those are on page 2. So if you think the thesis needs to better identify the main point, you could mention that. You could point out some vague language or informal words like slang. Maybe a paragraph needs some, better cohesion. It needs to be all about one idea. It needs more specific details, something like that. You might also mention proofreading, like spelling, punctuation, grammar. You could point out a few items. Okay. R is for request more. What more would you like to know about the topic that can enhance the essay and support the thesis? What specific details don't seem to work or don't seem to match the thesis or could be moved somewhere else? And finally, summarize. What new information have you learned, or how are you thinking differently after this reading? So here is where you're kind of learning something from your partner. You might comment on ways of approaching the essay that you hadn't thought of before. You might look at maybe the type of story that your partner told that's similar to your own story but has some differences, and maybe you want to compare yours to the other person's. So this chart kind of organizes all of your feedback in a nice, easy to read way, and it makes it easy for your partner to go through and see what they can improve and where they're doing really well. Okay, so going back over to here, after you read your partner's essay, keeping in mind what you learned from the peer review video in assignment 4.5, you'll add your comments to that CARES peer review feedback form, and then you'll upload it here by this Sunday. So it's the regular Sunday deadline. The only thing you're doing between now and Sunday is just uploading a copy of your essay for your partner to access it. And I gave an example here of what your exchange could look like with your partner. You don't have to follow my script exactly, but it just gives you kind of a template to follow. So, the first person to upload their essay could say, "Hi, partner B, here's a copy of my narrative essay draft for you to review, and here's their paper." And then the other person will come in and say, "Hi, partner A, here's my narrative essay," and they put theirs. So now both people have a copy of the other person's essay. And then when everything is finished, then the first person can come back again, or the other person can come back and say, "Hi again, partner B, I just finished reviewing your essay. I attached my comments below," and then the other person can do the same. So it can look something like this. Of course, you can, branch out from that a little bit if you would like, but I just wanted to give you an example that's easy to follow. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the peer review assignment. Please let me know if you cannot access your group. You don't see it anywhere, it's not showing up for you. Let me know if you can't download something, or if for some reason your partner doesn't upload their essay in time. That does happen occasionally, and I'll have to give that person a little tiny friendly reminder to get their essay uploaded in their group. So just let me know about any problems that you run into, and good luck.